What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy the D here, coming at you with our second chapter review of the week, Black Clover 273. Let me see, 273, The Day of Destiny. Alright, and yet again, we're just gonna go ahead and get right into it. Yet again, I'm not going over 272, didn't do it, just gonna have to go down in history as the Black Clover discussion, didn't get dead, fuck it. But anyway, when this chapter opens, we're treated to a outside view of a castle that we then learn is in the Spade Kingdom. Of course, gonna get again, it's blizzarding outside, snowy like the Spade Kingdom normally is. Then we see Xenon walking up to a lab to where he's calling out to someone named Morris and asking if is his brother gonna be okay. We then see the man Morris, white-haired man. And we then find out as he's explaining to Xenon that he was in charge of sorcery studies in the Diamond Kingdom and that he'll fix him up no problem. He even goes on to assure him that he'll be stronger than before. And during this, it's then that we notice someone that we've seen before in the Conquer the Magical Dungeon arc earlier. I think it was like the second or third arc. It was like the second arc, the second real arc. Well, the third arc, I should say, because there was Austin them joining the War Knight squads, meeting everybody. Then he joined, not War Knight joined. Then he, was that the second? It was some arc, Buddy with the smoke magic, who'd apparently fought Yami. I think he either fought Yami or fought Julius. He's there as well. Morris then goes on to state that the magical ritual for the Advent that was collected by Kendallio, which he made, he brings that up, asking for trust because, yet again, Xenon, as we can probably guess, doesn't really trust anybody. He then goes on to say that Mars, who we know as the person who has both old girl's Phoenix magic, can't remember her name, and his diamond magic. And he then says that he ran him out of the kingdom, but he doesn't really care because he really ended up somewhere more interesting, being the Spade Kingdom. He then goes on to say that he's grateful. We then get a view of a naked, and thank God those bubbles are covering his junk because I don't want to see that. We then see Dante in a vat with some things attached to him, and he is apparently awake. And he's lamenting mentally. Well, not lamenting. He's musing mentally, saying that he can't wait to fight that boy. Talking about Asta. And we then go back to Xenon talking to Morris, asking if any of the other preparations have been neglected. Morris then looks over, and we see a giant block of ice, saying that everything's going perfectly. And the guy who I was talking about with smoke magic, Lotus. And then Lotus, looking quite disturbed, says yes. And then looking at the giant block of ice, saying this is really bad. We then pan over to it, and we see a demon. Kind of like the one that Lick turned into after his heart fell, so it's not just going to be the Spade Kingdom they're fighting. Of course, they're going to be fighting against other demons because this looks bad. And then on the next page, we're treated to it's a bunch of roots, and it's a bunch of roots, and they're encircled by, looks like 2 magic circles, could potentially be more. And on one of the panels, we see some very familiar scruff, which I believe is Captain Yami, because in the middle of the roots, we see 2 coffins. Two coffins. They're shaped like coffins, but of course we know that that's Yami and William Vengeance. They aren't dead, but this thing, it's going to be the world tree that they're going to use to open the door to the underworld. We then pan back to the training session under, like I said, I believe that's Nox's old house. And we then go back there as Asta, who unleashed an attack last chapter, we're getting to see the aftermath. And as we're panning around, we see Asta returning to normal. So the form that he took, we never got to see it. We just got to get to see the aftermath. We then see Noct still in his Grimdello form. I think this one's called Hunter, his Devil Union form. And we see a large black line, which is where Asta cut. But Noct then goes on to explain, Asta didn't hit him purposely, but even though the attack was not a direct hit, we can see Noct's right arm was actually knocked out of its Devil Union. Its Devil Union was canceled. He then goes on to say that he also not only did he erase his magic, but he erased his mana zone along with it. He then goes on to say that if Asta uses that power, uses that power and learns to master it, he'll be the strongest. Noct then goes on to, good lord. Noct then goes on to admit defeat. I can swear I can talk. God damn it. But anyway, Noct then goes on to admit defeat, and Asta, being Asta, he wants to hurry up and get out and go save the day. But Noct then goes on to tell him no. Him and Lee try to question him, saying why not, that they use Devil Union. Noct then goes on to tell them that yes, you use Devil Union, but only for a second. You haven't mastered it. For a split moment, you could use it, but that it won't be enough. He then walks over to them and tells them that they end up dead if they tried to go like this. He then goes on to say that using his shadow magic, he's been watching the Black Bulls and everybody, and all the struggles they went through. He says that even though he was born without magic, he was possessed by a demon through sheer luck and toyed with by an unforgiving fate. But you were always right. He then goes on to explain that though he said that people who were right weren't necessarily rewarded, however, he wants them to be. He'll leave Gemodello, or Gemodello, whatever its name is, and he's gonna go ahead and head out with everyone else, and that they'll just have to hold on till he gets there. He then walks away, telling them to get their shit in order, and then come find them. We then see Gemodello talking with the other Noct's other demons, saying that if they hit me with that, he's dead, and that his master is an ogre. Damn, that was quick. Okay, we then pan over to the last chapter. We then go over to the last chapter of, that last page of the chapter, and we see the Royal Knights, or probably the new Royal Knights, preparing to go. In this, we see, we see Rill, we see Charlotte, Jack the Ripper, Nozel, Fuegoleon. We see Finral's younger brother, who is now no longer part of the Golden Dawn. We see Dorothy, of course. There's somebody we can't see. Somebody who's to the left, we can't see them. But we do see Buddy from the Green Praying Mantis, who Asta fought. This nigga, what probably happened is he's still riding off that end he got with the king when he accidentally saved him during the elf invasion. So he was probably nominated, either that or he's actually leveled up. But he is not looking good. This nigga looks like he's finna shit himself. But they're all in the same uniform, yet again a different uniform than they normally wear. Everybody's wearing the same uniform except for Fuegoleon, who's the fur on his coat, because of course they're now going to Spade Kingdom. It's way colder than it normally gets. Well, it's a lot colder than it normally gets in the Clover Kingdom. So his fur is black, so he's probably leading this. But yeah, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If you count whoever is coming, whoever else is coming. Like I said, there's somebody who's obscure that's either Noct or that's somebody else. But yeah, this chapter was way shorter than I thought it was, only 15 pages. But it's cool, I really wish we would have got a chance to see Asta's Devil Union form. But yet again, that's probably something that Tabata's saving. But not a bad chapter. Things are moving along. So pretty much Asta's gonna be with Gimadello. He's gonna be with him for the time being, training. So to get it so he can actually use it. But we've seen this before with his other devil union, which was quote unquote just a trickle of power. He couldn't use that all that much when he first started. So it's probably gonna be a few chapters. But I can't wait to see the fights. Can't wait to see what Yuno's been doing, because he was training with Finral's brother. Because he needed to be able to fight somebody who had spatial magic. So they've been doing their thing. I want to see how the other captains have been leveling up, especially people like Charlotte. Because Charlotte, well, actually, everybody who's possessed by a devil, well, not a devil, but an elf. Because as we know, they still have that magic. So there's probably all sorts of stuff they can do with that. Yeah, Fuegoleon, he's got the Salamander Spear. He got that in the last arc, the elf arc. So we'll get to see how he's leveled up with that. Like I said, I want to see more what Nox got, how he uses his magic, because I know he can use it as like a pseudo space magic. I know he can like grab you and shit like that. Like, how does that stack up against, how's that, work differently than Yami's darkness magic? Because they are different magics. It's not, shadow and darkness magic are interchangeable. From what he said, from how it's looking, they're different types of magic. And I know Yami has like gravity-like powers, and his is arcane stage, so he can hurt devils and affect the other world. So I'm wondering, is Nox magic arcane stage? I'm talking about his base magic, like not with the devils. Is he arcane? Well, I know he's arcane now, but was he arcane before? And what's his deal with Yami? I know that's coming. And like I said, my guess is that Nox had a twin brother or sister, like I said, a sibling, who was really cool with Yami, and they tried to do what Yami did, like, I'm gonna pass my limits every day, and probably got them killed, and that's why you don't fuck with him like that. But yeah, pretty good chapter. Like I said, very short, but it's a setup, and we got another chapter coming this Sunday. But anyway, without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. Next video I'm gonna be posting is gonna be my review of My Hero Academia. I think that's 292, and that's a chapter I got a lot to say about. But anyway, this has been your boy the D, and yet again, like, comment, subscribe if you like what you saw. Linktree and everything's in the description. Holla.